What would I do if I had more time?
Wow.
If I had more time, I'd call my grandma back. I miss her.
I'd go straight to the studio and dance my little heart out.
I would take up the guitar again because I have always wanted to be a rock star.
I would love to spend more time laughing.
I'd empower women to move.
I would do more of what I want to do and less of what I have to do.
If I had more time, I'd give it all to her.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
In 2008, at the age of 37, I suffered a heart attack. And I never saw it coming.
At 10, I was diagnosed with dilated cardiomyopathy. And at 22, I had a heart transplant.
Thanks to research funded by the American...
What would I do if I had more time?
Wow.
If I had more time, I'd call my grandma back. I miss her.
I'd go straight to the studio and dance my little heart out.
I would take up the guitar again because I have always wanted to be a rock star.
I would love to spend more time laughing.
I'd empower women to move.
I would do more of what I want to do and less of what I have to do.
If I had more time, I'd give it all to her.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
In 2008, at the age of 37, I suffered a heart attack. And I never saw it coming.
At 10, I was diagnosed with dilated cardiomyopathy. And at 22, I had a heart transplant.
Thanks to research funded by the American Heart Association,
so many of us have been given more time.
More time with our families, more time with our dreams, and more time to accomplish the things that cardiovascular disease tried to take from us.
And we're not going anywhere.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the 2021 Northwest Indiana Go Red for Women Digital Experience. My name is Laura Volushko from Z1071 FM and Adams Radio Group, and I'm honored to be your MC. We are thrilled to be here together today to celebrate women's heart health in the region. We started today with 5 fantastic breakout sessions. We learned how to pick the perfect avocado in colorful nutrition, embracing the 4-color movement made possible by Strachan Van Til. Discussed financial wellness and well-being with TCU's Jeff Soboralski. Learned the life-saving skill of hands-only CPR made possible by Methodist hospitals. Learned about the strong connection of maternal health and cardiovascular disease from Dr. Valentin Drezelio, obstetrician and gynecologist with Methodist hospitals, and answer the question of what's for dinner tonight, as Chef Patrick from Symphony of Chesterton prepared a heart-healthy dish in his cooking demonstration. And yes, we have the full step-by-step recipe complete with a shopping list right in the digital program book. For those of you who were not able to attend, or if you wanted to attend more than one breakout, great news. We are keeping those breakouts on this Go Red site through next week, so you can go back and watch them on demand. I know many of us are passionate about Go Red for Women and the American Heart Association because a woman in our life has been impacted by heart disease. Who do you go red for? Put their name in the chat. And we're starting to see those come up on our screen right now. So many of them coming up. They're just going by so quickly. And we want to thank you so much for putting up Mom, Grandpa, my sister, my family, grandmother. All of these now we're seeing in the chat right now. And we really enjoy hearing from you. So keep chatting throughout the program and sharing your why. Later in the program, we will share a special tribute in honor of everyone that we are going red for today, proudly made possible by Strachan Van Til. And in addition to chatting within this experience, we want you to amplify it on your social channels. So take a photo and share it using hashtag NWI Goes Red. Again, that's hashtag NWI Goes Red. During today's program, we will speak to the needs of the American Heart Association, and you'll have the opportunity to join us in making an impact in the region. We'll share this information throughout the program so that you can make your gift anytime. It's easy. Just grab your phone and text in all caps and no spaces, NWI Goes Red, to 41444. Again, all caps and no spaces, NWI Goes Red to 41444. You'll immediately receive a text response with a link to a secure website where you can easily complete your gift. And later in the program, we will journey with a young girl who had 5 surgeries in 5 separate hospital stays, all before the age of 4. Now, we are celebrating her strength with a special giving level of $55, which will help the American Heart Association continue to provide key education, such as infant CPR skills, especially important during this time when prenatal education is not accessible for all new parents. Later, we will introduce a giving thermometer to track our $5,000 goal. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Diane Kemp, Regional Vice President of Indiana, Illinois, with the American Heart Association, to share welcoming remarks.
Welcome to the Northwest Indiana Go Red for Women digital experience. We're excited to have you with us today. We understand this past year has been one of loss and great uncertainty. It has redefined who we are as mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends. There has been great change, and we needed to embrace that change very quickly. And as women, we adjusted, and we did it with grace and elegance, like only a Go Red for Women girl can. We didn't know much about Zoom and Microsoft Teams a year ago as a main means to gathering, but we quickly reinvented girlfriend time through digital experiences like the one you will journey on today. Why, may we ask? Why is 1 in 3? We often say, no, not me. The reality is, we just do not know. Here's what we're certain of. Our actions today will shape tomorrow. So be prepared for an inspiring program and enjoy Go Red for Women.
Thank you, Diane, for those inspiring remarks. As we continue to go red, not just today, but every day, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Northern Indiana Open Your Heart Chair, Rachel Saxon, President and Senior Trust Officer with Horizon Trust and Investment Management.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us as we go red in Northwest Indiana. As the champion of the organization and the 2021 Northern Indiana Open Your Heart Chair, it is an honor and my privilege to be here with you today and to be part of the Go Red for Women movement as we continue to raise needed awareness about heart disease in women and stand strongly against the many health inequities that are in our midst right here in Northwest Indiana. 1 in 3 women are dying from cardiovascular diseases. I'm sure that you will join me in saying losing even 1 woman is not an option. That's a third of our mothers, sisters, and friends. Truly, the work of the American Heart Association has never been more important. They are advocating for changes in the policies and environments that address inequities for access, nutrition, and quality of care issues that have only been exacerbated by the pandemic. And the Go Red for Women movement continues to educate women and dedicate research to women's heart health. We know there's a strong connection between neurological and cardiovascular implications for COVID-19 survivors, especially for women. Journey with me as we learn more about the impact being made.
This is news breaking from the American Heart Association. We are announcing it for the first time right here.
We're back now with a new warning today from the American Heart Association.
De los Estados Unidos, la doctora Regina Benjamin, miembro directivo del American Heart Association.
Case studies indicating COVID may lead to heart attacks. Joining me right now is Dr. Mitchell Elkind. He's president of the American Heart Association.
So have you joined the Boss Family workouts recently with Twitch and Allison? I mean, we love those two, from So You Think You Can Dance, Ellen, and Dancing with the Stars. But now they have teamed up with the American Heart Association.
It's Live with Kellyanne
Ryan. Years ago, the American Heart Association revised their out-of-hospital CPR protocol, and it's called hands-only CPR.
She's now sharing her story as part of the American Heart Association's Don't Die of Doubt campaign.
This is all about the American Heart Association's Healthy Bond for Life.
Late today, the American Heart Association putting out an advisory to pediatricians. As sales of marijuana soar during the pandemic, a new warning from the American Heart Association.
Tonight, the American Heart Association sounding the alarm.
A new report from the American Heart Association.
Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women here in the U.S. and worldwide. So when the American Heart Association puts out a scientific statement, people tend to pay attention.
Y es importante comunicar y American Heart Association quiere comunicar.
Según la Asociación Americana del Corazón, hay 3 factores que contribuyen a padecer del COVID complicado o fatal.
Joining me is Dr. Mariel Jessup, the American Heart Association's top medical officer. Dr. Michelle Albert is president of American Black Cardiologists. She's working with the American Heart Association to research COVID in Black women.
Dr. Larry Mitnall is an American Heart Association volunteer.
KITV4's Maleko McDonald tonight talks with the CEO of the American Heart Association about surprise medical bills.
This is why I love the American Heart Association. They step up in real time to address a need.
So while we're making an impact, there's still much to be done. Behind all the great work of the movement, there's a great team of volunteers. I'd like to thank our executive leadership team for their commitment and passion. I would also like to acknowledge the Circle of Red Society members and the Corps Vitae Society members. These champions of heart have made the mission a personal one to forward our life-saving work. Importantly, I would like to thank the many sponsors whose support is so vital to our life-saving work, especially our presenting sponsors, Strack & Van Til, Methodist Hospitals, and Symphony Care Network. Also, I would like to thank the Times Media Company and Adams Radio Group for continuing to promote Go Red for Women throughout the region. Without their support, our movement would not be possible, and for that we are inspired. Many of them have already committed to continuing their life-saving support next year and into the future to further the mission today. Please join me in celebrating their dedication to our community. Well, we have a great program planned for you today, so please give yourself permission to be present and to embrace it. And please know that we cannot do this alone. During the program, you will have a chance to make a gift from your heart in honor of someone you love. For me, that is my sister and my grandmother. I ask for you to consider who is that for you and join us with your gift.
Thank you so much, Diane and Rachel, for inspiring such passion for our mission. Heart disease continues to be the #1 health impact in our area, rarely giving us or our loved ones time to prepare. Would you join me in welcoming our next speaker, Mark Hartman, Chief Brand Officer with Symphony Care Network, our presenting post-acute sponsor with Go Red for Women, Northwest Indiana.
Hello, my name is Mark Hartman, and on behalf of the Hartman family and Symphony Care Network, I am honored to be here with you today. As we continue to face the challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic together, We know that cardiovascular disease continues to be the #1 health impact in our area, affecting 1 in 3 women directly. That is our mothers, our grandmothers, our daughters, our sisters, and our friends. It impacts the whole family in one way or another. It rarely gives us time to prepare. Many times we are left questioning, how did this happen? What do I do now? The ability to trust and have faith becomes critically important during times like these. At Symphony, we understand firsthand that the COVID-19 virus has only amplified cardiovascular and stroke challenges that many in our community are left to face. As an organization built around family values and support, we understand how critical it is to give and offer reassurance during difficult times, especially times that are not planned. Most importantly, we want you to know that you are not standing alone. That is why we are so very delighted to join alongside the American Heart Association in Northwest Indiana and stand with all that are impacted as the presenting post-acute sponsor of the Go Red for Women movement. We know that up to 80% of death can be prevented through lifestyle change and education, and I would also wager to say support. That is why Symphony Care Network, along with Medical Resorts Symphony of Chesterton, Symphony of Crown Point, and Symphony of Dyer, are delighted to not only stand with you, but stand with you through 2023. We are incredibly grateful for the gift to unite and support our community in such a meaningful way. Like you, this is a cause that impacts us both personally and professionally. As we continue to move forward, we look with great hope and possibility to what the future holds together. Please continue to do all that you can for yourself, your family, to stay healthy, strong, and brave. Together we will go red. Together we will rise stronger than before.
Mark, we are delighted to have Symphony Care Network with us, and thank you for sharing such inspiring words. Together, we will rise stronger than before. Noting such, each year, Strachan Van Til leads the charge raising the most funding for our Go Red mission in the state. Strachan Van Til's Checkout Challenge in February provides an avenue for customers to not only say yes to rounding up their total, but to be part of the impact as many are honoring a loved one who has been touched by cardiovascular disease or stroke. Join me as we journey with Strachan Van Til's Chief Operating Officer, David Wilkinson, who serves on the American Heart Association Board of Directors, to share more about the local community impact being made.
Hello, my name's Dave Wilkinson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Strachan Van Til Supermarket and the American Heart Association's Northwest Indiana Chairman of the Board. So welcome today to the Go Red for Women program. You'll be inspired by several presentations and leave empowered to foster a heart-healthy lifestyle for you and your family. So please enjoy the program and go red for women.
Thank you, David, for those inspiring remarks. Your leadership and that of the whole team at Strachan Van Til is making such a difference in our region as you faithfully support Go Red year after year, making so many advancements possible. Now, let's take a moment and view some of the highlights and inspiring moments from this Heart Month's Checkout Challenge.
For once in my life, I can see clearly there are no clouds in my eyes. So many times it's all been so near, and I watch as the moment goes by. And I'm holding on to you like a lifeline. I want to believe it this time. Look at me now and know that I need you, and I'm holding on for dear life. And maybe you'll save me. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. And maybe I'll make it. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm trying to explain, if only these voices would be silent just for a while. This feeling I get whenever I'm near you, I'm free, just like a child. And maybe my eyes. Look at me now. Know that I need you, and I'm holding on for dear life. And maybe you'll save me. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. And maybe I'll make it. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Maybe you'll save me. I'm alive, I'm alive. And maybe I'll make it. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. For once in my life, I can see clearly there are no clouds in my eyes.
All right, well, we will get back to that, and we want to continue to talk about the importance of the mission and everything that's happening here today as part of this Northwest Indiana Go Red for Women experience. It is so important for us to unite and to take a stand for our own health and inspire the women we love to do the same. Now, at this time in our program, I'd like you to join me in meeting one brave little girl, full of hope and full of joy. Her name is Ryan, and this is her story.
I have 3 children, Chris, Gavin, and Ryan. Chris is a big kid. He's a big kid at heart.
I got it! I got it! I mean, if you know us, we're that goofy family that likes to stay upbeat. With Ryan's condition, we've grown up pretty quick. We found out about Ryan's heart defect at the 20-week anatomy scan.
We noticed that the nurse was taking quite some time on one specific area. I knew something just wasn't right. Then the doctor came in.
You know, turned the lights on, pulled us aside, and said, I think there's something wrong with Ryan's heart. That was a scary day. Sorry. Yeah, this is what we did in the car, We cried.
My whole thought process was that I want Ryan to get old. I want her to just be a kid. I want her to play sports. I want her to just be a cheerleader, be a dancer, whatever she wants to do, any crazy things she wants to do. I want her to be able to do it. She can't scuba dive. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Dada. Say dada.
Ryan's first surgery was in July of 2019. Walking into the room and seeing her with everything hooked up and the monitors beeping, it was really hard. And you can't hold her, you can't pick her up. She's connected to all these things. You don't know what you can touch, what you can't touch. That was rough for me.
When Gavin saw Ryan hooked up to all the machines and the tubes and that's the worst. But ever since that moment, he's always been so protective of her now. We always contribute all of Ryan's success. She's had 5 surgeries. She's never stayed more than 5 days in the hospital from these surgeries. And honestly, I think it's because of Gavin. He keeps her motivated because she doesn't know what's going on. She sees her brother, she wants to get out of bed, she wants to play. We're going home.
You're gonna go see your brother. Yay!
As of now, Ryan's had 5 surgeries. Since then, she's been fine, and we actually got news that we're good for another 6 months.
So we decided when I was first pregnant with her that we were going to start vlogging my entire journey.
As most of you know, our daughter was born with a rare congenital heart defect called LTGA.
No family was out there that really documented the whole journey and what we could expect. So that was our mission, is to spread awareness, number one, and to share with other families what we were going through. So Team Balmer just went from being all about congenital heart defect awareness and sharing Ryan's story to something incredibly unexpected.
Should we go to it? Should we go home?
Yeah, stay upbeat.
Stay upbeat! It means a lot to us that Ryan is an honoree at the American Heart Association Heart and Stroke Ball.
Ryan is a heart warrior. She's such a star and she's such a bright light. We're thrilled to be raising money for a great cause that is helping children.
We know that there are parents out there that their kids aren't as fortunate as Ryan is. There's parents out there that won't get to see their kid ever ride their bike. But we get to. But we also know that, like, it's important for us to share that Ryan is doing so well, because it gives hope to other families.
Now, I would like to take this time to make a special appeal to all of you. Our goal is to raise $5,000 together for the women of Northwest Indiana. We hope you'll consider giving at a level that's comfortable for you by texting NWI Goes Red in all caps and no spaces to 41444. Again, that's texting NWI Goes Red in all caps and no spaces to 41444. Take this time to think about who you're making your dedication in honor of today. Is it your mother, sister, daughter, brother, dad, niece, son, spouse, coworker, or friend? Or in loving memory of someone that was taken from you way too soon? Let's view our totals so far. Well, we want to thank you so much for making a gift today. There are so many caring hearts on this thermometer that you are seeing. You're seeing the names. You're seeing the amount go up, and you're seeing the names scroll up. So many of you taking part in this today and being part of this event, Northwest Indiana Goes Red. We want to say thank you and thank you and thank you again to everyone. And we want to also say that we're halfway there, over halfway there now. And again, we cannot thank you enough. And you can continue to text in your gift throughout the program. And then at the end, we're going to come back to our thermometer, but wow, we're over halfway there already. But as we continue, we are mindful of this past year that has brought changes to all of our lives. We had to change our routines and limit the number of places we went. We would like to take a moment to recognize the brave heroes on the front lines. Thank you to all our healthcare workers, grocery store employees, educators, and those essential workers that kept the world running during isolation. And with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Matt Doyle, CEO Methodist Hospitals and American Heart Association Board of Directors member, whose passion for the mission and our community is inspiring.
Methodist Hospitals is proud to support the mission of the American Heart Association. We support community programs such as the Heart Walk, Go Red for Women, and the Heart of Gold Gala. As the CEO of Methodist Hospitals, I'm honored to serve on the American Heart Association's Board of Directors. Our partnership spans over 15 years, and I've heard many personal stories from employees that have been inspired by the AHA's mission. These stories translate to heartfelt tributes and as a result, we have been the top hospital team for the Northwest Indiana Heart Walk, in total raising $594,000 for the American Heart Association. We are also proud to be one of the first hospitals in the region to receive the gold recognition with their Get With the Guidelines quality program. The American Heart Association's mission is to be a relentless force to reduce the devastating impact that heart disease and stroke have on patients and their families. Methodist Hospitals is proud to stand alongside them. During this pandemic, our cardiac patients are at a higher risk, and the AHA is doing many things to help with the outcomes of COVID-19. On behalf of Methodist Hospitals, we thank those joining us in an effort to support the American Heart Association's mission, as we're all making a difference in the lives of many.
Thank you for those empowering remarks, Matt, and for the continued dedication that you have to our community. As we recognize all those impacted by the pandemic, many have been putting off a visit to the doctor, whether that be for a routine checkup, an elective procedure, or in some cases, even delaying necessary treatment. As we look ahead with the hopes of returning to normal, it's important that we take time to see our doctor. The American Heart Association recently released the results of 2 studies. One shows that more than 1/4 of us have put off seeing the doctor. And the other study indicates that because we've put off that care, we can expect to see a rise in chronic conditions in the coming years. Now, as we keep this in mind, it is my pleasure to share that we have 2 medical leaders with us today to shed more light on the impact of COVID-19 on the cardiovascular system and the vaccine as we navigate the next steps in our own personal health journey. First, joining us from Methodist Hospitals, we have Dr. Kamran Aslam, cardiac electrophysiologist and American Heart Association Board of Directors member.
We thought there'd be more arrhythmias, and actually it turns out there are not as many as we thought. But what I've seen locally in my own practice and talking to my colleagues is that patients, if they're going to have an arrhythmia as a secondary cause from COVID-19 pneumonia, is usually atrial fibrillation, and it's not the more dreaded like ventricular tachycardia or sudden cardiac death. However, if the patient has a really bad heart failure to begin with, right, the COVID-19 pneumonia can make things worse and make the heart failure worse, which downstream causes more, it makes it more difficult to manage the heart failure because the patient is having more arrhythmias, whether it's VT or atrial fibrillation. But commonly, it's just atrial fibrillation that we're seeing in both young and old patients, and that's a good thing because it's easier to manage versus ventricular tachycardia or sudden death. Obviously, older patients tend to do poorly, right? But that being said, I just did a procedure this morning on a patient who is much younger, like in his 40s, and he had not AFib, but he had SVT, which is basically it's a cleaner form of a tachycardia coming from the top chambers of the heart, which is much more easily fixed than atrial fibrillation, for example. That particular patient got an ablation and he's now fixed. But in general, like older patients with comorbidities like hypertension, obesity, COPD, heart failure are the ones we see more with atrial fibrillation in the acute phase when they're really sick. And as they start getting better through the variety of treatments that we have, most of it which is supportive, oxygen, steroids, and whatnot, as the patient gets better, the arrhythmia goes away on its own, which is really good for the patient and also for us because it makes our life easier for a patient that's very complex to deal with to begin with. But AFib, usually older patients and comorbidities of heart failure, diabetes, hypertension tend to cluster more, obviously. The sicker the patient is, the more predisposed they're going to be developing some sort of arrhythmia. I've had a patient as young as 35, and then patients, because of medical science, we're able to keep people around longer. So as old as 85, 88, I have a 85-year-old right now who in his acute phase was having a lot of atrial fibrillation. We just controlled the rapid rate, and as his condition improved, the AFib just went away without me doing much else, which is fantastic. And he never had AFib until he got hospitalized with COVID-19 pneumonia. The only thing that concerns me about the cold is people who go outside to shovel snow. It's not so much cardiac, it's orthopedic. I've done a lot of cardiac clearances for people with broken hips and femurs because they slipped and fell trying to do the right thing, which is shovel their own driveway. So that's the biggest concern. But the one thing, whether it's pandemic or not, COVID-19 or not, winter or not, is something that I think all cardiologists can agree on is diet and exercise. You know, it's harder to take off the weight once you've put it on. And so, my patients almost unilaterally get, I wouldn't say orders, but suggestions to, hey, you guys have to watch what you eat and you have to exercise, some sort of meaningful movement. And a rough number I give them is, hey, 3 hours a week, spread it out. I don't care how you do it, just spread it out. If you are walking, then make sure you can't talk on your phone while you're walking, because that's not effective exercise. And so that's what I've always recommend for all my patients, is you need to watch what you eat. You need to eat healthy, heart healthy, and you need to exercise, because if you don't have a heart problem, that prevents you from having one. And if you have one, it'll help your doctors manage it better, because you're doing your part of the bargain to take care of yourself. But that's the main thing, the basics: diet, exercise, avoid smoking, avoid excessive alcohol.
Thank you, Dr. Aslam, for that insightful information on atrial fibrillation. Now, our region is lucky to have such a wonderful network of healthcare champions, many who go above and beyond for the mission daily. Now, this year, I'm delighted to share with you that the American Heart Association Healthcare Champion with Heart Award, locally made possible by Vibra Hospital of Northwestern Indiana, was presented to Dr. Aslam for his passion on elevating the impact that atrial fibrillation has in our community and supporting making it a priority item of focus. Congratulations, Dr. Aslam.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to accept this award. But before even saying that I'm honored to accept this award, I'm really grateful that the American Heart Association is doing what it can to bring AFib up as a priority for treatment in the general population. Because honestly, that is really more important than any award that I can get, is that we can raise awareness of the most common rhythm problem in the world. And, to give you an example, is about 500,000 hospitalizations in the U.S. Annually, and a lot more deaths associated. But, well, not a lot more deaths than 500,000, but approximately 160,000 deaths related to atrial fibrillation. The other thing that's not that one should really think about also is that atrial fibrillation accounts for a lot of strokes in the population also. And I know that stroke, cardiovascular risk in general, besides atrial fibrillation and coronary events, strokes are also an important consideration in the general health of the population. That's how AFib ties in also. And the other thing that's really becoming apparent in the last couple of years is that atrial fibrillation, more than just a rhythm problem, can also make other problems patients have worse. For example, we've already talked about strokes. Heart failure. Heart failure can be made worse if a patient has concomitant atrial fibrillation, and that's where electrophysiology really comes in, because we can offer therapies outside of medicine, an actual ablation therapy to try and manage this problem. And again, within the last year, a lot of data has come forth that states that early intervention is better. If you first get diagnosed with AFib, evaluation for AFib by an electrophysiologist should be done within the first year or two, and not done 5-6 years down the road. So that's a really paradigm shift that's provocative, that we need to partner with our primary care doctors as well as our cardiologists to really push this forward. So I'm really glad the HA is giving me this platform to do that. And with that, I think I'm going to end.
I am honored to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Alexander Stemmer, infectious disease specialist, honorary COVID-19 Rapid Relief Champion, and our incoming 2022 Heart of Gold Gala Executive Chairman. Join me as we learn more about the vaccine and what it means for us and those we love.
I'm Dr. Alexander Stemmer. I'm a board-certified infectious disease specialist with a long-standing interest in the care of the advanced elderly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tanisha McSpadden. I'm a registered nurse.
Symphony has asked me to be the medical director of several of their facilities in Northwest Indiana. And when the COVID pandemic began, I was asked to co-chair the COVID-19 task force to develop protective procedures for both our staff and our patients. With the current availability of vaccine, we have one more opportunity to take a giant step forward. So I'm here today to try to address some of the most important questions that I have been frequently asked during the lead up to the introduction of the vaccine. One of the questions I'm asked most frequently is if I will be accepting the vaccine. And the answer is unequivocally yes. I look forward to the opportunity to get the vaccine, not only to spare myself the risk of contracting the disease, but to spare my patients the risk of contracting the disease from me. At the same time, I will be protecting my family, which is an equally important goal. By the time you're seeing this interview, I will have taken the vaccine.
I myself have been asked most frequently, am I going to be receiving a vaccine? And my answer is yes. Being a COVID-19 survivor just lets me know how important it is not to be able to transmit the disease to the residents, to my family, to my friends, and my coworkers. So Dr. Stemmer, the vaccines were developed in a lightning speed. How safe and effective could it be?
While the vaccines have been developed extremely rapidly, we should remember that both Pfizer and Moderna have been working on this technology for about 10 years. The mRNA vaccine technology was developed for both the SARS and MERS epidemics that came much earlier in this century. The federal government has been extremely efficient in making sure that none of the barriers and obstacles that can occur in the testing and approval process delayed the introduction of the vaccine. But no corners have been cut. There have been a large number of people tested, all of their side effects have been documented, and the efficacy of the vaccine has been found to be much higher than expected. We have to recall that our patient population is the population most at risk and represents a disproportionate number of the deaths that occur every day. By our accepting this vaccine and moving forward with it, we protect ourselves, we protect our patients, we protect our coworkers, and we protect our families. I think it's a vital decision and an extremely important opportunity for all of us who are in healthcare.
Would this be a yearly vaccine like the flu?
That is a frequently asked question, and the simple answer is we don't yet know. The coronavirus is a large virus and it does mutate. However, we don't know if these mutations will involve the spike protein, which is the portion of the virus that the vaccine is active against. So only time will tell. At this point, it's too soon to have an answer for your question.
Will the vaccine have any long-term side effects? And also, what are the side effects?
That is an extremely important question, which almost everyone asks. At this point, 40,000 people have received the vaccine, and there are no neurologic side effects. There are some side effects which are common. It is common after the vaccine is administered to get pain at the injection site and to get some muscle aches. And it is very common to have fatigue the day after the vaccine, but these symptoms are very short duration. And I should emphasize that the symptoms of the disease are far, far worse than any of the side effects of the vaccine. And protecting ourselves from contracting the disease and having those symptoms is a very important decision on our part.
Is this a live virus?
No. There is no live virus. There is no dead virus. There are no parts of virus that are injected into the person receiving the vaccine. The vaccine consists of a substance called messenger RNA. It's a normal part of the human body. It is manufactured, and the messenger RNA, which is injected, teaches our body to make the spike protein. Our immune system then senses the spike protein and reacts to it, making antibodies to protect us from getting infected. So there is no part of any virus that is going into our body with this vaccine.
Dr. Stemmer, as frontline healthcare workers, is it true that we're being used to experiment to verify the efficacy of the vaccination?
I understand your concerns. And I think the simple and best answer is no, we are not being used in an experiment. We are being given the opportunity to interrupt the catastrophe of this pandemic. Remember that in the skilled nursing environment, COVID-19 has typically been brought in by a healthcare worker who does not know that he or she is ill, and have unintentionally transmitted it to patients who then further transmit it to other healthcare workers. As healthcare workers currently, we're being given the privilege to get to the front of the line, to receive this vaccine to protect ourselves, to protect our families, and protect our patients, and to interrupt the process that has caused so many thousands of deaths in skilled nursing facilities. So this is an opportunity, not an experiment.
Do you think the approval of the vaccine was inappropriately accelerated for political reasons?
That's an extremely important question, which many people have asked, and I've considered carefully. I believe that the simple answer is no. Remember, the federal government had nothing to do with the development or the testing of this vaccine. What the federal government did do is financially support the pharmaceutical companies so they could speed up the trial to enroll a large number of patients and properly evaluate the efficacy and safety of the vaccine. And that has all been carefully documented. The federal government also made sure that obstacles in the approval process did not unnecessarily delay the release of the vaccine. Recall that the presidents of 9 pharmaceutical companies pledged in writing not to release any vaccine until all of the efficacy and safety studies were completed and met all of the highest standards. They have lived up to that commitment. The speed of the vaccine is largely due to the fact that Pfizer and Moderna had both been working with this technology because of previous coronavirus epidemics, SARS and MERS, and so the technology was available, and they then got the financial support of the government to get it into effect and completed. But I'm confident in the results of the studies. The vaccine is safe and effective. On behalf of Symphony leadership, I would like to thank our heroes for their hard work and their dedication to our residents. It's been a long haul, but there is now light at the end of this tunnel, and the vaccine is now available. We can now all do our part to put an end to this terrible pandemic.
On behalf of the healthcare workers, I encourage you to do 3 things: to educate, to vaccinate, and to communicate. 1, educate yourself about the vaccine. 2, get the vaccine. And 3, communicate to others on how important it is for us all to be vaccinated to stop this pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Stemmer, for your insight and guidance. We know it will empower each one of us and those that we love in their decision to get the vaccine. As we continue to fight for all women impacted, let's check in on our progress with the thermometer. We want to thank all of you for your generous support to making life possible today and for tomorrow. It is just amazing what's happening here during this presentation, during this program, during this Go Red for Women, Northwest Indiana. Wow, goal $5,000, goal raised, goal surpassed, above and beyond the goal. And thanks so much to everyone for your generous support to making life possible today and for tomorrow. Wow, this is amazing. And as we continue our journey, I want to call your attention. Well, I'm going to keep looking at that thermometer too right now, but I also, for the next few seconds, but we also want to call your attention to a very special silent auction that is happening. That is right, Northwest Indiana. We look forward to this every year, and it will be launching on May 14th and closing on May 22nd at 12 noon Central Time. But today we have a special sneak peek of some of the amazing packages and items that are going to be on this year's auction block. Remember, this is just a small sampling of the amazing items that will be available. So let's check it out. Now, if you attended this program today, you'll receive all the details on how to be a part of it, so stay tuned. As we end our time together today, I want to thank each and every one of you for your generous support of this life-saving mission. We've learned such valuable information during our breakout sessions and the main program. And I also want to thank our sponsors again, whose support made this event possible, especially our presenting sponsors, Strack and Van Til, Methodist Hospitals, and Symphony Care Network. If you didn't have a chance, you can still make an impact by texting NWI Goes Red to 41444. Again, and that's in all caps and no spaces. NWI Goes Red to 41444. We hope everyone enjoyed this digital experience. And before we head out, let's take a look at a special tribute to those you said you were making your gift in honor of today, proudly made possible by Strack and Van Til. Well, that says it all. And again, we want to thank you, everyone. What a fantastic crowd. So many great folks joining us today. And again, thank you to everyone. And we hope to see you next year in person. Thank you.